Hey everybody, welcome to the Lund Loop Daily Update for Friday, June 26, 2026. Happy Friday. What a week it was. Hey, before we get into it, I just want to remind you of something, he says as he looks over to the screen. The Saturday cut comes out tomorrow. First thing, what is the Saturday cut? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. No charts, no technical analysis, just 3 distilled evergreen ideas from this past week that you can put in your process going forward. If you are a free subscriber or a paid subscriber, you'll get it. If you're just watching this on StockTwits or YouTube or Asian Friend Finder, whatever you're watching this on, you can just scroll to the little blue button below my face and subscribe for free, and you'll get it tomorrow. What a day. There's so much to cover. I don't even know where to start. I got too much stuff today. Let's start with the question of, are we transitioning or are we topping? Or topping or transitioning? All right. So we know that the narrative this year has been the Mag 7 has gone to Lag 7. Big cap tech, boo, right? Space has been hot. AI has been hot. AI infrastructure, energy has been hot, AI energy related things. What else has been hot? Lots of stuff has been hot, but not the Lag 7. So now those hot things are starting to see money coming out of them. What are we seeing perk up a little bit? Well, Battle Buddy said it in our trading room recently, like 10 minutes ago. Planes, trains, and home builders. What have we seen strong? What? Sorry. I forget when I have to cut over here. I want to give Battle Buddy credit. Right there. Battle Buddy. All right. So planes, trains, and home builders. We've seen home builders pop. We saw yesterday jets finally hit the COVID highs, the pre-COVID highs. Can you believe that? It's been 6 years since airlines were at the pre-COVID highs. We're seeing biotechs go. That's great, but those are not really trading vehicles. We're seeing financials do a little bit better. And so the real question is, all that money that's in AI, infrastructure, energy, space, blah, 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 if it comes out, it cannot be absorbed by home builders. It cannot be absorbed by the airlines. It cannot be absorbed by biotech. It just can't. There's just not enough market cap there. What does it have to go into? Mag 7 or software related stocks like that. So the question is, are we coming out of those hot names into some names and then the whole market is going to roll over because those can't lead the market? Or are we maybe going back into some of those software Mag 7 so we can get that real rotation? The problem is you never know until afterwards if you're transitioning or you're topping, and both of them are messy, right? Really messy. We saw so many shenanigans this week, especially today, and we've got 2 more days next week for quarter end for there to be more rebalancing. So I would expect some more shenanigans, as my friend Trader Stewie would call it, fuckery. Also, next week's shortened week because we do not have the market's closed on Friday because Saturday is the 4th of July holiday. Why do I explain this? You know exactly why it's closed. It's closed on Friday. So let's take a look at some of the little possible clues that we saw today. And what I want to do is not do that. What I want to do is I want to compare the action in the NASDAQ futures to a number of different names. These names have been horrific for a long time, and particularly this week. And what you would notice this week is they would, the NASDAQ futures would rip. They would kind of move up a little bit, and then the NASDAQ futures would come down just a tick or two, and they would tank. So today we saw a little bit of a change of character. Let's take a look here. Follow my cursor. So here we are out of the gate with a rip on the NASDAQ. Actually, to tell you the truth, let's see. Yeah, so look right here. So we're actually just chopping sideways here at the beginning. And right off the bat, we've got Microsoft gapping up and going straight up. Okay. Now look when we get to this period right here. See how we start to sell off, pretty good. We were as high as 661. We got as low as, so we sold off, 200 points there? And watch where my cursor goes on the Microsoft screen. Just literally goes up during that time. That is really good relative strength. then we get a spike in the NASDAQ futures, and then we get this other sell-off. And what does Microsoft do? Just goes sideways, does not sell off a bit. We go up again, and we start to sell off kind of precipitously. And look at the cursor on the Microsoft side as I go down here. It's just going sideways. Look at that. Just sideways, not moving at all. We get a little pop, and look where we are in the NASDAQ futures relative to the highs of the day. Here we are way off the highs. But at this point right here, where's Microsoft? It's breaking into new highs. Now, we did get this flush at the end that kind of took a little shine off of it, but not much. So if you look at those two contrasting, you got this choppy U, upside down U, and Microsoft goes straight up here. Look at IGV. Same thing. I'm not going to walk through every move here, but it's the same thing. When we start to get this sell off here, all we're doing is going straight up. And we close pretty high, or pretty close to the highs of the day. Look at Path, a software name that's been beaten down. Same pattern, right? So we're seeing these names, even some things like Palantir, right? Look at this, okay? So here's the sell-off in NASDAQ, and watch my cursor on Palantir, just goes basically sideways. And even on this last flush here, doesn't even move Palantir. That is a total change in character. Other names, ASTS, whoops, let's go back one, which is not a software name, obviously, but the point is it's showing better relative strength than it's been showing lately. So the question is, well, actually, let's go to a couple more examples. What didn't show good relative strength today? How about SanDisk, right? Which closed the lows of the day below yesterday's gap up. How about Micron? Same thing, right? Remember that big gap up yesterday, sold off, did that weird 45-degree angle thing, gap down today and closed at the lows of the day. So are we seeing money come out of memory, right? And then go into software, go into Mag 7? Are we seeing money coming out? We don't know yet. Today would be a really good start, but until there's a little bit of follow through, some pullback, a move after the move, this is just a dead cat bounce. Now, the fact that it's happening during rebalancing at the end of the month, the fact that it's happening after a lot of these names were beaten down a lot, the fact that the relation between the overall market and these names is different now, gives us a little bit of a clue this might have some legs. So we will see. I want to talk about one other thing, because it's Friday. Why not? Why don't I talk about one other thing? Yesterday in the daily update, I made the point that a lot of people that are in some of these memory names, the memory bowls, really, I don't feel like they know what they're doing. The moves in these names are not trading moves. So basically, I said, I think people are just putting their hands over their eyes and just hoping for the best. And I said, what do you do? What's your exit plan? How are you going to get out of this thing? And I said, I'm afraid a lot of these people are going to get hurt. Well, I put a little excerpt from that on the Twitter today. And I got a couple responses that I think are very interesting. So this was a response to that tweet about, trying to figure out how you were going to manage an exit. And TMOB5 said, exit, this is going to 1,500 plus easy, then hoping for a 10-to-1 split, which will drive the price even higher. By the way, I never embarrass anybody that gives their real name. So, and I'm not trying to embarrass these people, but I'm just saying I would never bag on someone publicly. It's just, these are, anonymous people. So TMOB5 thinks that, hey, exit, what are you talking about? This is going to 1,500 plus easy. All right. How about Lecter79 says, you're talking about an exit plan when the story is not changed? See you at 1,500. All right. I think it's funny that they both picked 1,500. Feels like there's a common narrative going around. So the problem I have with that idea is, oh, well, we'll just get out when the story changes. But the story is going to change way before you know it. The story is going to change way before there's an announcement, way before our analyst comes out and cuts stuff, way before, the Mag 7 companies say we're cutting back on our CapEx. And this is why we use technical analysis instead of fundamentals. Now, I'm not saying you can't use fundamentals if you're doing investing, but if you're trying to be an active investor, a trader, obviously a day trader, you can't use fundamentals because you'll never know when you're wrong. You'll never know when the story is wrong because people way multiple levels closer to the source, meaning the company itself, will know before you. We're talking about hedge funds, institutions, analysts. All those people will know way before you, and they will start selling a long time before you do. And this is why we get this this phenomenon where like something goes up, 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 and then they come out with an announcement that they have amazing earnings, and then it's sell the news. Why? Because everyone that was way closer to the company than you knew and had been buying in anticipation of that news. It's the opposite in the other direction. If you get a stock that's just tank, 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 and then some bad news comes out, sometimes it pops. And so all I'm saying is have some sort of exit plan. Know why you're in a name. Figure out what your uncle point is, where you'll get out, because otherwise you are just in danger of writing these things all the way down. And I got to tell you, I got a response from Daniel Northover. And the reason I'm using Daniel Northover's name is because I really respect this reply. He says, while it's usually a little bit late, I like to wait for the fundamentals to change a bit before I exit. This means I usually don't sell anywhere near the top, but means I can sit through the current noise with a bit more chilled, I guess maybe a bit more chill. Nothing has changed yet, so I hold. Okay, I respect that. Daniel's saying, I get it. I'm not going to get the top. I'm going to probably give some back, but I'm willing to trade that for peace of mind for the way I operate. That's more of a portfolio long-term investing approach. I can respect that, right? I don't respect the guys that just go 1,500. It's 10 for 1 split when the story changes. Like, okay, well, I hope you guys get out and I hope you have a lot of profits, but I have a feeling you're just going to ride it all the way back down. So, all right, chastisement done. Let's go through all the charts because there are so many charts to look at. We're going to go through the weeklies. In fact, let's start with the weeklies here. All right, remember the context. We're trying to decide, are we topping or transitioning? So we're going to get some insight here from the weeklies, the dailies, and then we're going to go through all of these sector ETFs to get some clues as to which way we're going here.